Today Dung Fu invites you to delve deeper into the Dhammapada, the 33rd verse from the Buddhist scriptures on the YouTube channel TN Thai in USA. Just as an arrow maker straightens an arrow shaft, even so the discerning person straightens his mind, so fickle and unsteady, so difficult to guard and control. Dear friends on the path, let us sit in stillness for a moment, gently aware of our breath, gently returning to the calm presence of now. We are here, not to chase more thoughts, not to gather more things, but to soften, to listen, to awaken to what is true. Today we reflect on a very special teaching, a verse that speaks directly to the heart of our practice, to the mind itself. This verse is not a concept. It is a mirror, showing us the nature of our mind and the path of transformation. The Buddha says, just as an arrow maker straightens the shaft of an arrow, the wise person straightens the mind, for the mind is not steady, not easy to train. It runs here and there, like a monkey in the forest, like the wind in the sky. And yet, the Buddha tells us, it can be straightened, it can be trained, it can be guided, it can be purified. This is the work of the path. The mind is the root of all things. When the mind is straight, the life becomes straight. When the mind is pure, suffering is transformed into peace. When the mind is calm, the world appears with clarity. Let us take the image slowly, just as the arrow maker sits patiently, holding the crooked shaft in his hands, turning it, heating it, straightening it little by little, never rushing, never losing attention. So too the practitioner works with the mind, not with force, not with anger, but with patience, with consistency, with care. Every day, we return to the cushion. We sit, we breathe, we watch the thoughts arise. We see their nature, and we bring the mind back, gently, to the breath, to the body, to now. This is how we straighten the mind, not by punishing it, but by understanding it. The Buddha says the mind is fickle, like a fish taken from water. It flips, it struggles, it does not rest easily. It is restless, drawn to sights, to sounds, to memories, to desires. It wants to escape the present. It wants to chase pleasure and avoid pain. But the wise person does not follow the mind like a servant follows a master. The wise person trains the mind to be the servant of wisdom, of compassion, of awakening. Let us look deeply at our own experience. How many times have we felt lost in thought, not knowing how we got there? How often have we been angry, and later said, I don't know what came over me? How many times have we suffered from memories that we could not control, from thoughts that would not stop? This is the nature of the untrained mind, but it does not need to stay that way. The Dharma teaches us, the mind is trainable. The mind is like water. It takes the shape of whatever it is poured into. If we pour it into greed, it becomes greedy. If we pour it into stillness, it becomes still. So we learn to pour our attention into mindfulness, into loving kindness, into presence, into noble silence. Slowly, like the arrow maker, we begin to straighten the mind, not in one day, not in one retreat, but day by day, moment by moment. Even now, As you sit and listen to this teaching, the mind may wander. It may drift. That is not a problem. That is an opportunity, an invitation. Simply bring it back to the listening, to the words, to the silence in between the words. This is the practice. Let us reflect again on the verse. Just as an arrow maker straightens an arrow shaft, even so the discerning person straightens his mind. Notice the word, discerning. It is not everyone who straightens the mind. It is the one who understands the value of doing so. The one who sees the danger of a mind left untamed. The one who knows that freedom lies not in chasing every thought, but in resting in wisdom. Discernment is the light of insight. It is the quiet voice that says, "This thought is not helpful. This action leads to suffering. This path leads to peace." With discernment, we are not controlled by the mind. We learn to watch the mind. We learn to guide it, gently, lovingly, without judgment. The Buddha did not condemn the mind. He did not say the mind is evil. He said it is trainable, malleable. It can be shaped like gold, hammered into a form that serves awakening. And this is our task. So we ask ourselves, what is the shape of our mind today? Is it soft or hard? Is it spacious or tight? Is it filled with kindness or agitation? Can we be honest, without blaming? Can we look at our mind the way a craftsman looks at a raw piece of wood? Not with fear, not with hate, but with curiosity, with possibility. The arrow maker sees the potential in the crooked shaft. He sees what it can become. So too, the Buddha sees what we can become. We may be crooked with habits. We may be restless with desire. We may be pulled in 1,000 directions, but the path is clear. Every moment is a new chance to straighten the mind, to pause, to breathe, to return. This is the teaching. Let us look more closely at how the mind becomes unsteady. The Buddha taught that there are 5 hindrances that disturb the mind: sensual desire, ill will, sloth and torpor, restlessness and worry, and doubt. Each of these pulls the mind away from clarity. Desire pulls the mind into craving, chasing what is not here. Ill will pulls the mind into aversion, pushing away what is already here. Sloth and torpor dull the mind, make it heavy, make it sleepy. Restlessness and worry scatter the mind, make it jumpy like a leaf in the wind. And doubt makes the mind uncertain, unable to walk forward. These are the forces that make the mind unsteady, but we can meet them with mindfulness. We can see desire and not follow it. We can notice aversion and not feed it. We can sit with sloth and gently energize the body. We can breathe through restlessness and smile at doubt. This is how we train the mind. With patience, with wisdom, with love. No need to rush. No need to judge. Just like the arrow maker does not yell at the crooked shaft, we do not yell at the mind. We hold it gently and keep working. This work is not just for monks. It is for everyone who wants peace. The mother with her child can straighten the mind by practicing patience. The worker at the factory can straighten the mind by returning to the breath. The student can straighten the mind by bringing awareness to study. Wherever you are, the work can be done. No one is too busy. No one is too late. The present moment is always here, and the mind can always begin again. Let us remember this. Even when we fall into distraction, even when we get lost, even when we are overcome by anger or sadness, we can return. We can straighten the mind again and again. This is the beauty of the practice. There is no failure, only learning, only returning, only awakening. The Buddha himself practiced for many years before awakening. He sat under the Bodhi tree, watched the mind with deep silence, and finally, it became clear, still, luminous. The arrow of the mind was straightened, and with that, liberation was attained. We too are walking toward that tree, toward that stillness, toward that freedom. With every moment of mindfulness, we shape the mind. With every act of kindness, we purify the heart. With every breath of awareness, we open the door to Nibbana. This is the promise of the path. Let us walk it with trust. Let us walk it with joy. Let us walk it together. Dear friends, let us now breathe together in silence for a moment. Breathe in, gently. Breathe out, softly. Feel the mind resting. This is the beginning of freedom. This is the arrow becoming straight. This is the way of the Buddha. Let us return again to this profound image. Just as the arrow maker sits patiently, quietly observing every imperfection in the shaft of wood, so the wise one observes the mind. The arrow maker does not fear the work. He does not turn away when he sees that the shaft is bent. Instead, he welcomes the task. He brings his skills, his tools, and his silent discipline. Slowly, gently, over hours and days, he turns that crooked wood into a perfect arrow that can fly with precision toward its mark. So it is with us. We sit with the mind, not to conquer it, but to understand it, to refine it, to bring it home. When we first sit down to meditate, we may feel overwhelmed. The thoughts come like waves, fast, noisy, uninvited. They drag us into memories, plans, fears, judgments. But we do not need to fear the waves. We become the shore, steady, unmoved. The Buddha taught, the mind is like a wild elephant, strong but untamed. It pulls us wherever it wants. But with mindfulness as the rope, and loving awareness as the guide, the elephant can be trained. And once it is trained, it becomes a powerful friend on the path. That is why we must not lose heart. We must not expect the mind to be still right away. The arrow maker does not expect the first touch to make the arrow straight. He returns again and again, until it takes the shape of perfection. We too return to the breath, to the body, to the present moment. We return to the silence beneath thought, and slowly, the mind becomes soft, the mind becomes stable, the mind becomes beautiful. One of the great treasures of the Dharma is that it invites us into this deep patience. We are not forced to run. We are not judged for falling. We are simply invited, again and again, into presence. To sit like the arrow maker, holding the crooked mind with both hands, not pushing it away, not trying to throw it out, but watching it, feeling its tendencies, listening to its cries, and slowly, we help it straighten, one breath at a time, one thought at a time, one step at a time. This is the living practice. In the world, many things are praised: achievement, power, money, position. But in the Dharma, it is the quiet work of self-training that is praised. It is the one who guards the mind like a jewel. It is the one who sits through the storm of thoughts with stillness. It is the one who watches the angry thought arise and does not act on it. This is the path of the noble ones. This is the work of straightening the mind. The Buddha gave us many tools for this work. He taught mindfulness as the constant returning to the here and now. He taught loving kindness to soften the harshness within. He taught the precepts to create a stable foundation for the heart. He taught right effort to guard the mind from unwholesome states and encourage the wholesome ones. All these teachings are arrows pointing to the same truth, that the mind can be made free, that the crooked can become straight, that suffering can end. Let us reflect on what it means to work with the mind in daily life. A mother wakes up early to take care of her children. Tired, perhaps agitated, the mind wants to complain, to lash out. But if she pauses, breathes, and meets that moment with mindfulness, she is already shaping her mind. A man in traffic feels anger rising as someone cuts him off. The old habit would be to yell, to honk, to curse, but he remembers the practice, returns to the breath, lets the anger dissolve. That moment is a straightening. A student preparing for an exam feels overwhelmed. Anxious thoughts race through the mind, but she takes a few moments to sit in silence, to place a hand on her heart, to ground herself in the present. That too is a straightening of the mind. The world gives us endless chances to practice. Every difficulty is an arrow shaft offered to us. Will we ignore it, throw it aside, or will we pick it up and begin the sacred work of shaping it? This is the way of the Dharma. Again and again, the Buddha urged us to turn toward the mind, not to escape it, but to understand it. He said, all things are preceded by the mind. All things are shaped by the mind. When the mind is pure, happiness follows like a shadow that never leaves. But when the mind is defiled, suffering follows, just as the wheel follows the foot of the ox. So we cannot ignore the mind. We must not blame the world for our suffering. We must turn inward, gently, courageously, and begin the work, straightening what is bent, softening what is hard, quieting what is noisy. This is the true art of living. Let us reflect now on the role of awareness. Without awareness, we cannot see the mind. We are simply caught in it, carried away like a leaf in the wind. But with awareness, we begin to see. This is a thought. This is a feeling. This is a memory. This is a reaction. With this seeing comes space, and in that space comes freedom. The arrow maker does not shape blindly. He watches closely. Every movement is careful, deliberate. We too must cultivate this close watching, not with strain, but with love. The Buddha called this sampajana, clear comprehension, to know what we are doing, while we are doing it, to eat with awareness, to walk with awareness, to speak with awareness, to rest with awareness. In this way, every action becomes part of the practice. Every moment becomes sacred. Even washing dishes or sweeping the floor becomes a training of the mind. When the mind is fully here, fully present, it cannot wander into confusion. It is being shaped by the Dharma. Let us remember also that the mind is deeply influenced by what we feed it. Just as the body is shaped by food, the mind is shaped by impressions. If we feed the mind with anger, with gossip, with greed, it grows crooked. But if we feed it with Dharma, with silence, with compassion, it begins to straighten. So we must be careful. What are we reading? What are we watching? Who are we listening to? Are they nourishing the straightness of the mind, or bending it again into distraction? The arrow maker chooses the finest wood. He does not begin with rotten branches. So too, we must choose the conditions that support our training. The Buddha often praised noble friends, those who walk the path with us. A good friend reminds us of the truth, encourages our efforts, points out our blind spots. With noble friends, the training becomes lighter, more joyful. The crooked shaft becomes easier to work with. Even the arrow maker needs good tools, good light, good space. So let us create those conditions. Let us keep noble company. Let us listen to the Dharma. Let us nourish the heart with meditation and generosity. And let us be patient. Patience is the greatest support of this path. Without patience, we give up when the mind resists. Without patience, we expect perfection too soon. But the arrow maker is never in a hurry. He trusts the process. He knows that each moment of effort brings the shaft closer to perfection. So too, each moment of mindfulness brings the mind closer to peace. Each act of kindness softens the sharpness of ego. Each breath of awareness leads us back to freedom. This is the way. The Noble Eightfold Path is not a race. It is a way of living. Right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. All of these come together in the shaping of the mind. They are the tools of the arrow maker. Each one straightens a different part of our inner world, and together, they lead us toward the freedom the Buddha discovered under the Bodhi tree. That freedom is not far. It is here, in the stillness of now, in the simplicity of presence, in the breath you are taking in this very moment. Can you feel it? This is the beginning of peace. The crooked becoming straight, the restless becoming calm, the wounded becoming whole. This is the way of the Dharma. Let us walk it together, with courage, with trust, with great gentleness. Thank you for watching my video. DHAMMAPADA. I wish to bring this merit towards all disciples and sentient beings, all of whom will attain Buddhahood. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel to review the short sermons of the Buddha. Thank you for listening to the Dharma.